Hey everyone, this is Robin from Center Street Decor SVGs. I wanted to hop on. It's been a while since I have been on and showed you any fun things. I have been enjoying my grandbabies. I went over to Europe where my little grandbaby boy was born over there. So I went over to help my daughter, and then she also has a 2-year-old. So we had so much fun playing. Lots of fun playing times, but I've missed doing lives, and so I'm back again enjoying. Let me show you a few things. I have got some working on some Halloween items that I thought would be really fun to share with you. So one of the things that I just added to this shop was a new sign. So this is the witch is this is out, and then this flips around so the witch is in. So you know if the witch is coming or going. So this fun file, actually the backer piece here, I have two different backers. One has the holes so you can make it hang, or there's also one that doesn't have holes. So you can cut it without the holes. And that way if you want to put this on an easel instead of on hanging it. So I also have been having fun designing a new sign holder. And so this is it right here. So if you look at this piece right here, this sticks out. So there's two different pieces right here. So that's what the sign will hang on. And it's about 18 inches tall. So this is new in the shop. And so let me show you how this works. So it just holds right on to that piece right there. Let me get that to hang straight. So pull it back so you can see it a little bit. So it can sit on, I'm going to be putting mine on my fireplace down low on that lower shelf. That will be a cute place to hang, to put this, or you could also put it on a table because it's not too awful tall. So that's really fun. So it's sturdy. So I have a piece in the front that's holding, and then I have a piece that we glue on the back. So that makes it really sturdy. And I do glue mine in here so it's not going to come out. You can't take it apart. And I have a little video on the page, the Etsy page. It shows a quick little video on how to put this bottom piece together. So anyway, so that's fun. I have that in the shop. So today we're going to do a little bit of painting. So still working on our Halloween decorations. And you know I love my chunky shelf sitters. So I made these darling chunky witch hat shelf sitters. And that's what we're going to paint today. So these, I have already done the resizing for you. These come in 3 sizes. This is the tallest, which is 5.5. And of course, you can also resize yours any size you want. But I've done the sizing for 3 different sizes. So this is the 5.5. And then we have the smallest one, which is let's see, 3.5 inches tall. Aren't they cute? And I've got my little tags here. So there's 3 different tags that come in this file. If it can focus, this one says something wicked right here. And then this one says witching hour. And then the third one says you're under my spell. So this is the one that we're going to use on the one we're going to paint today. You know what I was thinking? I was thinking, wouldn't this be so cute as a door hanger? You could blow it up really big. And because I do chunky shelf sitters, there's 3 different layers. And there's 2 of the tall layers. And then this piece right here, the brim, is the 3rd layer. If you were going to make this a door hanger, you would just use one of the big towel pieces and then the hat brim. Now look at the cute little spider web that's on there, and that's scored. so it scores really fast. It doesn't take much time at all. But I thought that, blow it up really big, and it would be the cutest door hanger. We have a spider web on here. And then you have the, like I said, the 3 different tags. Oh, I put these little mulberry flowers. They're just a paper flower on here. I thought that would be cute addition. So I thought that would be really fun. So we are going to paint our third little witching hat. And I'm going to tip you down here so you can see. Hopefully you can still see. You can see I've already been painting here. So this is the third one. So the third size. So we have 5.5 for the large, and then this one is 4.5, and then this one I've resized to 3.5. So, and all of the tags come together in that file. So I've done all that work for you. So cute. So I love this little spider web banner or brim, hat brim. So we have the 2 pieces and then the hat brim, and that's all I need. And this is the 1/4-inch plywood that I buy. So, and they stand all by themselves. So they're so cute. I think they're just darling. They'll be darling on my mantle this year when I decorate for Halloween. Okay, so let's just get started. So the one I'm going to use is Under Your Spell, but I'm going to use the medium size. And you can see how teeny tiny these are. They're so cute. So I'm going to set those aside, and it has a spider and then the spider web. You're Under My Spell. I'm going to move that one out of the way so I don't accidentally use it. And then we'll use a mulberry flower too. But I'm going to show you how I colored it. Whoops, I thought my sign was almost going to fall over. So these are the pieces that we're going to use. And it goes together really quick. The painting is really quick. Get my little reader glasses on. So this one I'm actually going to paint in a lighter purple. So I'm going to show you how we're going to do that. So let me get some more of my paint out. So the paint colors that I used for the darker one was purple pansy, just an apple barrel purple pansy. That's the one I used. Well, we're going to use this one, petunia purple, for this hat so that we can have a little bit of a variety of a purple. So first I'm going to start with my white. And the reason I'm going to start with my white is I want to, if you look at here, you can see how the spider web looks white. And I'm going to show you how we're going to achieve that. Look, it's really quick and easy. So I just have my paintbrush and I just pick up a load of paint. And I'm just pretty much kind of squishing it. Just brushing it, but making sure it goes into all of that those scored lines right there. So I'll just paint it in there, and then just make sure you just kind of mush it in there. And I don't worry if I get paint on the edges, because I will show you how I clean that up as we get going. When all the paint is dry, just kind of pushing that in there. And once I can see that it's filled in good, then I just grab a baby wipe. And then I'm going to wipe the top of it off. So just wipe right across the top. So just mostly wiping off that white paint, but it's staying inside of that scored area. And we'll clean those messy edges up later. So I want that to be good and dry, so I'm just going to set that aside. So while I set that aside, we're going to go ahead and paint our, let's see, this is going to be a white with maybe just a little bit of purple on it. And that's how I did these here. is it's white, but just added just a little bit of purple. So fun. Okay, let's grab this paint. And I'm going to just get my paintbrush here. Oh, it's been so long since I've done a live. And when I haven't done a live for so long, just to push that live button, go live. I don't know why it's scary for me, but it is. I'm like, oh, do I push it? Do I push it? But yeah. Once I get on and start painting, it's more relaxing. So I don't need to worry about painting the lower half because that cute hat brim is going to hide that. So I usually try to get the least amount of paint on my edges that I go from the inside to the outside. A little trickier when you have a small area like around this brim, but I still try to go from the inside to the outside just so I don't get too much purple on the edges. There's always a way to clean it up. I clean it up with markers once all that paint is dry. Okay, this is going to need one more coat, so I'm just going to let that dry. And while that's drying, we are going to paint some of our black items. Let me get my painter's tape. And like I said, this project goes together really quite quick. So I do have a little bit of white here. Let's see if I can. Let's go ahead and paint this. So because these little lines they're engraved, so it's deep in there. So I don't want to mush my sponge in there too much. I don't want to do like I did with these scored lines here. So I'm just going to tap very lightly over the top when I do my little tag. Just tap, tap, tap. I might need to get some more paint. Just tap really lightly, and then sometimes I drag just very gently over the top with my little piece of sponge. And if you do get a little bit of paint in there, just take a very fine pointer and then just gently rub it across there and get some of that out if you need to. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pick up just a little bit of this purple and just mush it around my little paint palette here. And then just tap just so it gets a little bit of purple on there. Just so it's not just white. Set that aside. Okay, now we're going to paint our spider web and then our spider. And I'll just do them really quick with a sponge. Just dabbing right over the top. Okay, so most of these pieces, I'm going to actually take my heat tool just to dry it because it will go much quicker if we do that. want to do one more coat on this purple right here. The black's good. You can definitely get by with one or two coats of black. Black is really good. It gives really good coverage. We'll set those aside. This just looks really rough because it's the wood, and I'm going to rub it on a just a fine grit sandpaper. There, that looks better. I'll probably give it just one more coat, but I need some fresh white paint. The other was pretty dry. That's what I used to paint the other witches' hats. So again, I just want to dab very lightly. Again, once again, just pick up a little bit of that purple and just kind of do a little blend, and then I'm just going to tap just gently, just around the edges, just to bring in a little bit more color, so it's not just white. And if you get too much color, just go grab some more white. Okay. One more coat on our witch's hat. And these are so quick and easy. Okay, so now when I'm ready to do this, I'm actually going to use a sponge. So I'm going to use just the same purple as I used for the hat. You could mix it up if you want, do different colors. So again, same idea. When I sponge this, I want to be careful not to push too hard in there, because I still want to see those scored lines. And now you can see that spider web pop. Look how fun that is. Okay, if I can get in the camera view. Look how fun that is. That is so fun. And sometimes I do get in some of the lines. And a few of them I might clean out, but for the most part, you can still see that it is a spider web. I might need to give that one more coat. Okay, I like to give, if you can see on, I don't know if you can see on my little spider web here, but I've given it a little bit of highlighting. So you can do that or not when you're doing your painting. It's up to you. So I'll show you how I did that. I added a little bit to my spider and a little bit to my spider web. So I'm just going to use my angled brush here. Make it some more fresh white. So this is how I like to do my highlighting. is I'll get my brush wet and I'll just tap it on my paper towel and watch that moisture seep out of there. And then I'm going to dip just the very corner and then rub it just back and forth on my paint palette. I can move this out of the way so it doesn't stick to everything. Okay. And then I'm going to just rub it right along the edge here. And then I'll just come down the other side. Maybe a little on those. And then what I did is I also did just a little bit on just the tops up here. And if you get it where you don't want it, just rub your finger on it. It's okay. Yeah, just to give it just a little bit of highlighting. Just like the moonlight is shining down on it. Think of it like that. So just the top edges would be shining on there. And then same thing kind of with my spider is I just dip just the very corner, just the teeniest amount of paint. And then I'm rubbing it just to blend that a little bit. And then I'm just going to rub just kind of on the top of the legs here. And then the top of his head. There's almost no paint on there. There's not a lot. But it's enough to give it almost like almost looks more gray than white because it's so faint. So now his little eyes, we're going to dip dot his little eyes. And I used a toothpick because that was the tiniest thing. So you can see when we have our little tiny, tiny, tiny spider, you want just the tiniest little eyes. And so I used a toothpick. So I just dipped it in the white and then just dipped right on top. So that was the smallest thing that I found that worked just fine. So now you can see the cute little spider. So let's set that aside and let him dry. We'll set the spider web, looks great. We're going to set that aside. I usually wipe my toothpick off and I use it again. Not that that's an expensive thing, but that's what I do sometimes. Okay, we're going to give that one more coat in a minute. This has got plenty of paint. I am going to give it a little bit of highlighting on this too. So just like I did with the spider and the web. Let's see, I'm going to add one more little coat just over the top of this, just to make that paint a little bit more solid. Okay. So what I like to do is this is the back piece for the witch hat, but I usually give it a finished look. If you look on the back, I just give it just a baby wipe with a little bit of burnt umber paint. So that's what we're going to do here. In fact, we're just going to use the same baby wipe. I think it will work just fine. Let's put some of our burnt umber down. We're just going to pick up some of that. So on the back of our witch hat, we're just going to rub it just to give it a finished look. So if this is an item that you want to sell, it adds kind of a finished look to it. And I don't worry about trying to get in every little perfect, because wood has all different types of I don't know, the grain of it is not flat, obviously. So I don't try to worry about getting in every little crevice, but just enough to just give it a little bit of coverage. And I think that that's fine. So that is finished. So we're going to put that aside. And then what I like to do is I like to give just a little bit of shadowing. So we're going to use the burnt umber. So same thing we did before. I'm just going to dip just the very corner on there, and then I'm just going to find a clean area on my palette and just rub that kind of back and forth so it blends it. And then I'm just going to brush it just to give it, kind of gives it an aged look, I guess you could say. Just a good shadow. I just try to go around all sides. And then I almost just rubbing straight across on the tag where it has all that zigzaggy. So you're under my spell. Okay, let's let that dry a little bit more. Let me just show you with our little flowers. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to paint this black. This one was black too, but it obviously ends up a little bit more gray. But that's how we're going to do this one. And I'll show you how I do it. Because this is paper, the paper will absorb the paint. So I take a little bit, my paintbrush was quite wet, and then I'm just blending it into the black paint here. So it's kind of like a watered down paint is all I'm doing. And I need more water. So if you have enough water, then it just kind of soaks into, there we go, now it's going. Now the water is just kind of soaking into the paper flower. I just touch it on the edge. Usually it pulls it in there. If you have enough water, it will just pull it. And then I try to get the ones underneath. Sometimes I just got the leaf, but that is okay. Because we want it to be kind of a spooky, I guess, a spooky flower. I want it to be a dark flower for our witch hat. And then what I did is I took the heat tool and dried this really good. That feels pretty dry. That'll be good. Okay, so I'll set that aside. And while you're drying your flower, I actually help this to dry even quicker. Okay, so let's go ahead. So there's two more things I want to do on this I want to add the speckles, and then I also want to add the shading. So we're going to add a little bit of shading. So just like we did on, instead of trying to think what, I'm stumbled with words, aren't I? I definitely want to highlight. I guess if I use white, I'm highlighting more. So, but I'm going to pick up the white. You could use darker around this edge, and that would look pretty cool too, but I think I'll just be consistent with what I did on the other witch hats. So I just picked up, and I actually picked up more than just the corner because I want it to be a little bit more heavy for like a highlight. And all I'm doing is just dragging that color across. And then we'll do the bottom edge too. I'll tap my brush on here, let most of the water soak out, pick up some of the white, and then just rub it back and forth. And I kind of walk away from my paint So it kind of creates a little bit of a, I guess, like an ombre, more of a little bit white. So that's how that's going to go on there. So we're going to add a little bit of highlighting on our witch hat. So same thing, pick up a little bit of that paint. And now I'm just going to pull the color around. When I feel my paintbrush gets a little bit dry and like the paint is not going very smooth, that's when I dip it into the water. Around this edge a little bit and then just around. Okay, that's cute. Gives it just a little bit. And again, you don't have to do shading on it or not. You can keep yours solid, just like with the spider web. You don't have to do that at all. Okay, the next thing I want to do is I want to add a little bit of speckle. And the speckle will go on, I did it on the spider web and the hat and then the brim. But I didn't do it on the little tag and I didn't do it on the spider. So what I do is I'm going to just use some white paint that I create kind of a barrier because I have all of these up here that I don't want to get speckled on. And there's some things that around my desk I don't want to be completely speckled. So I kind of create this barrier with my paper towel roll. Grab a bottle of paint that will help hold that. And it's almost time to glue our project together. So like I said, this comes together really quick and easy. And I don't know if you can see my barrier. Oh, I guess you can see my barrier, and so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm just going to bring them down here. And then I have to reach around and get my paintbrush. And what I like to do is I use this long, skinny paintbrush. And it's really wet right now. So I just pick up a little bit of this white paint. And so I'm making kind of a wash. Just a white wash right here. So it's pretty thin. So some people like to use a toothbrush, lots of different things. And now I'm just going to tap with my finger. Just tap it on my finger. And now you can see all of the little pieces, little bits of white speckle. And it never goes exactly where you want. Sometimes you're like, oh, I want a little bit more in that area. Yeah. For some reason, I don't get to control that. And I want a little bit more on the brim. So I'm back a little bit. I think I have plenty on the hat. I don't want to go too crazy. I'm trying to get this side over here. I'm trying to get a little bit on the side of that web. And like I said, it never goes exactly where you want it to go. Sometimes you keep trying and then you overkill with the speckles. Oh, but it's fun anyway, huh? It's fun. Yeah, see all that? Overkill. But that's okay. It'll be okay. Okay, now I can roll up my barrier. So if I get some that's just too much, I might just grab a wipey and just wipe on there if I need to. Okay, we are ready. But actually, we need to let that dry. Let's let that dry. While that's drying, we're going to put together our cute little tag. Now I have to see where I put it because I pushed it out of the way so it wouldn't get speckled. And oh, there it is underneath the hat. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're just going to add the ribbon on our tag. And that just adds a fun little variety on here. So the hole is pretty small. So you could just do one piece of twine and be done with it. And then that would still look really cute. I have this purple twine that we're going to use. And I'm actually going to use just a couple pieces of this purple twine. And I just grabbed a bunch of my fun ribbons that I liked. This lace. I have this one, which is a plaid. And then here's another purple one. And I'm just snipping off little pieces of that. Okay, so my longest piece is what I'm going to put through my little hole. And then I'm just going to tie this just one time. Just like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to layer my pieces just right on top. I do have a plaid one under here, but it's on the very back. So it's kind of hidden. You don't really see it. So this time I'm going to layer the plaid, the black, on top of the white. So just doing some layering here. And then I'll take the two pieces, the two tails that I have attached to the tag. And this is where I'll just tie a knot. And once my knot is tied, that's when I trim all of these. And I usually go pretty short. I don't like them too long. But I don't want to cut them really short in the beginning because it's hard to keep them in place when they're super short. So now we're just going to give our ribbon just a haircut. And usually the ones that are closest to me, I go shorter, and then the farther I go out, I go longer. And I'm just cutting them kind of at an angle. Just giving them a haircut. There, just like that. So that's our cute little tag. This is what we're going to put on our hat. If our little dots are dry. And we'll get the stick fast. Let's go ahead. Oh, before I use the stick fast, let me just show you. I'm going to clean up these edges just a little bit. This is probably my favorite marker. This is from Dollar Tree. So they're least expensive, and they come in a pack of 3. And I usually use the black and the brown, but the black gives a quick coverage for this white. So I'm just going to quickly go over this edge. And it covers it really well. It just helps clean up those edges so it just gives it more of a finished look, especially if you're selling your projects and you want your customers to not see all your little flaws. You're making it for yourself and you don't mind all of the little edges. So I don't cover completely some of the color. I try not to get too close to the upper edge because I don't want the black to kind of bleed into the top, which can happen. So this one, I'm just going to look and just anything that just looks really, if there's just a little bit, I'm okay with that. But if there's a lot, like here, I'm just going to give it just a quick little swipe. And then some of those splatters land on the outside edges too. So I get those. There. Oh, you can clean up which I could have done before I added my ribbon. Clean up the edge of your tag, which it makes it look so much neater, so much cleaner. Especially white. When I use white, my edges are just really messy, and I'm not worrying about the underneath because that's all. It does bleed. You can see it kind of, this marker bleeds into the wood. Okay, let's put this together. Let's get our hat brim. Actually, I want to put the backing piece. So here's the back piece, which we added a little bit. I did get a little bit of speckles on it, even though I had a barrier. That's okay. So we're going to put our stick fast glue on here. And I usually stand up my pieces to line them up. That just seems to work the very best for me. Push down firmly. And now we'll do the brim, the hat brim. And this one I just line up with my fingers to make sure it's at the bottom, because that piece is where it's going to help it stand up. Let's add our spider web. And you can actually have this spider web hang off the edge a little bit, or you can put it so it's all onto your witch's hat. Sometimes I like to have the edge hang off just a little bit. I think I did it on one and not the other. Okay, just a few dabs, and I think I'll not hang it off the edge. And then I turn it over, not where it's usually wet, but in a dry place, just to tap off some of that excess glue so it doesn't squish out. It's stuck to me. Oh, there we go. And I'm just going to pick it up so I can see what I'm doing. There we go. Now I have some wire cutters that I'm going to trim off this wire here that's on our little mulberry flower. I can feel it still is a little bit damp, but I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to squish it up a little bit. Okay, so what I like to do is, if I'm going to lay this on here, sometimes I like to use a little bit of a riser, because if I set it a little bit on the web, you can have it slanted on that, but I use a little riser. And like, I'll just save some of the pieces that fall out of like the spider web. That's what these are right here. So sometimes I just save little pieces. I just call them, they just make a riser. So I'll just put that on there. We have to decide where we want to put our cute little, cute little spider. Maybe we'll put him down, because on the others I put him up. Okay, so part of this tag is going to lean on one of the spider webs. I'm just trying to decide where it's going to go. I'll lean it on that one. I think we'll go a little bit more on this one. It might end up a little bit on that one too. And then I'm going to put a little bit of glue where the riser is. You're under my spell. And if you find you need to trim some of your ribbon a little bit more, you can. I'm going to trim this one just a little bit more. While I'm holding it to dry for the glue, I'm going to trim a little bit. Isn't that cute? Oh my gosh, that's so cute. I love this color. I did the others in the darker, but I really like the light one too. So I like to use a hot glue to put the mulberry flowers on. I find it holds it a little bit better than the stick fast. So I will use my hot glue to glue that on. But let's decide where we want our cute little spider. I think he's going to hang out down toward the bottom of the hat brim. So again, I'm just going to tap off some of it so it doesn't squish out. Just going to put kind of maybe at a slant so one leg is touching on the bottom of that. And then how cute is that? So these come together really quick and easy. So it's a quick and easy project to do. They cut out super fast. These little tags are engraved, but it doesn't take too much time at all. It's just a small engraving. And these, the spider webs are scored. So that goes really fast. So it's a really quick and easy project. And they just make, wow, like I said, if you want to blow this up and make it into a door hanger, that would be so cute. And if you do, I would absolutely love to see it. This is the witch's hat. So, and here is the large. So we have large, medium, and then here is the small. I think they just turned out just darling. I just love them. So I hope you like them too. So cute, you guys. So, oh, so fun. Anyway, so here are our cute little witch's hat. I think they turned out fantastic. This is the baby witch hat. But anyway, thanks for joining me today. So tomorrow I am going to be painting. Let me show you. It's going to be tricky to hold up because it's not glued together. So let me show you. This is what we're going to be painting tomorrow. This is our Toil and Trouble witch. She is in trouble. And she has these cute little shoes. So her shoes are going to go on here. And I think I'm going to add some glitter to these shoes. I think that would be so cute. Some glitter to this project. And we have the bubbles that sit on here. We'll paint our witch's legs. And here is, I always love to do the little tags. This is the Toil and Trouble tag, because that witch is in trouble. And then we have random little bubbles that will go around. So cute with her little witch shoes. And this is about 7 inches, 6.5, maybe 6.5 inches tall. And this is a chunky shelf sitter also. So this will be able to sit on a shelf. And the witch legs, I haven't decided if I want to put the witch legs. Yeah, the witch legs go into the center. So the witch legs go in the center of our chunky shelf sitter. So the witch legs are in the center, and then the bubbles sit right on the front there. So this is what we're going to paint tomorrow. Isn't that cute? And I'm going to get these added to the Etsy shop. I haven't added the witch hats yet that I can remember. We're going to do some fun little photo shoots with those witch hats, and we'll get them on the Etsy shop. So they will be available for purchase. Anyway, thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you all have a fantastic day, and we will talk to you later. Bye.